Distracto.
Well, hello, Brian.
Hey, Caleb, what's going on?
Nothing.
Caleb, I'm excited. A, because it's Wednesday and we're releasing a whole new episode of Distracto for everybody.
It is Wednesday, and it's one of my favorite days of the week because we're approaching the weekend, man. The weekend is within sight. We are getting closer and closer every day, and I'm excited.
Well, I'm also excited for another reason, Caleb, because as promised, as teased,
You're finally coming out.
Oh,
What?
yeah. Well, that ship has already sailed and burned in the harbor.
Okay.
Yeah,
well.
we already established that I'm a New Jersey 5, so clearly sought after. We have a guest this episode.
This is a momentous day.
So it is a momentous day. I am honored and humbled and delighted to announce our very first Distracto guest. I have known this gentleman since college. We met while going to see episode 1.
Oh, wow.
In the back of my friend's Ford Tempo at North Point Mall, I believe, is when we went to go see that. You were wearing a Michigan Wolverines hockey jersey for some reason. And
The fact that you know all of these details is somewhat frightening to me.
that was my first recollection of my buddy here. Ladies and gentlemen, HASHIM, a.k.a. Toon Punk on Instagram himself, one of my oldest and dearest friends. Hello, sir.
Woo!
Pew, 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 pew. Yeah, thank you.
We need the
Thank you.
horn.
That was
So we're the way this is going to work is kind of like our normal thing where a topic is discussed. Only this time, Caleb and I get to both be the dum-dums and learn about it, which is pretty sweet. So yeah,
Oh, it's like a book report.
it is.
That's super true.
Well, before we get into it,
Yes.
HASHIM, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Thank you, sir.
You're the inaugural guest on Distracto Pod. Welcome.
This
We
place
appreciate
is
it.
nice.
It's
Yeah.
something. It's got a definite
Well,
musk
it's,
to it.
here
for sure.
we're here in beautiful Palm Springs, California. It's
So, as I've mentioned before, I've known HASHIM since college, and that college was
Yes,
the
sir.
Atlanta College of Art. So HASHIM is a multifaceted artist and a
Thank you.
burgeoning musician on the flute stuff,
Ooh.
whatever it is you play.
Oh, that's just to keep me sane, but I appreciate that too.
No,
Wow.
I've heard you play, and it's better than I could do. I couldn't do anything with those.
Hey, you know what? 5 minutes a day. I've been saying that since I was teaching dancing. It's just 5 minutes a day of anything. I don't know. You're supposed to get that like 10,000 hours
You-
sort of thing.
wait,
I'm sure.
Yeah,
Caleb,
I've been
you've
trying
heard
that, but my
too.
abs have looked the same, and I don't agree with.
hang on. I'm hung up on the you taught dancing.
Yeah, no, that was several regenerations ago.
I said multifaceted, Caleb, and
Now I feel intimidated. Now I'm like, just because we bring in guests, this is supposed to be my home, and I'm supposed to be cock of the walk, baby. But no, now HASHIM has taken over.
You're not the only multi-hyphenate on this podcast right now, sir. How's it feel to get knocked down a peg, bitch?
It's just salsa, merengue, and a little bit of
Just the
swing.
sexy dances. Like you're not
Cha-cha.
teaching. I don't know. Where's the pachanga or what did they learn in Dirty Dancing?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Argentine tango was nice, man. But
Shout out to City Lights Dance. I remember the name of
Wow.
it. Yeah. See, my memory works sometimes.
I don't know what happened to the place.
know.
I know they moved a couple times and then it just went into a
Shut down during COVID.
Wow.
Well, before HASHIM regales us with our topic this week, please, sir, feel free to plug anything you're working on, anything you're distracted by,
Ooh.
sites that people can go visit, what you're doing, what you got going on.
Okay. Well, I should have at least some, if not most of my art dumped on either toonpunk.com or senseiha.com. But you can also find me under the same handles on Instagram as well, and probably some of the other
And
socials.
we'll link to all
that
this
are out
stuff at
there.
the end of the show.
I know I do everything but X. Sorry, I'm only one person. You can only.
It's
do
all
so
right.
many
I don't do
things.
X either.
No, I did X once in a club, and I had the weirdest fucking high, and I ended up
Yeah.
blowing a dude in the bathroom. No, cut that out, please.
Hey, that was the best blowjob I ever had, Caleb, and I appreciate it.
Perfect. I'm glad somebody enjoyed the.
Obviously, this episode is not for children. So HASHIM does all kinds of illustration, painting, You were doing assemblages kind of stuff for a while, I remember. I mean, all kinds of stuff.
Yes. Actually, I've just come off of a run of painting birds in shadow boxes. It's now turned into other animals in shadow boxes. I'm also in the middle of a very weird charcoal piece, but I'm doing it on a flat screen TV. So we'll see how that turns out. It should be well done by the time this drops. So hopefully whatever's on the socials, like that's however that turns out. It's either going to be charcoal or painting. I don't know. We're about to find out.
That's an expensive like medium to work in, flat screen TVs, you know.
Well, yeah, it died.
No, still, but either way,
It is true.
I thought it was weird when I started doing acrylic paintings on old like drum heads. When the drummer in my band would toss them, I would collect them and I'd do these little drawings and acrylic paintings on them. And they
That
were
was cool.
super terrible.
Well, you were doing it on
but
physical Bitcoins for a while, and that just got unsustainable because they're.
You know how hard it is to find physical Bitcoins these days?
I mean, you can pay 120 grand or whatever they're up to now. I don't know how much they cost.
Ain't that the
God.
Do you have any upcoming conventions, fairs, market stuff that you're presenting these things at?
Well, currently I'm located in Jasper, Georgia, which is up in northeast Georgia, a nice little mountain town. The foothills of the Appalachians or the south side of the Appalachians, however, whichever way you want it.
Represent.
If you're in Atlanta, just keep going north, basically.
But we do have an art walk that's going on. Supposed to be on the 26th. So I believe this should be out just before that. So yeah, if you catch it and you happen,
Nice. 26th September.
yeah, September. It's just called the Art Walk. It's just basically an open art fair to the masses. They're also going to have art inside of a lot of the stores that are just participating on the main street. So it's just a good time. Come on in, see people just trying to.
If you've heard of Ella J, Jasper is not too far from Ella J.
Just throw a dart. You can find it.
Throw a dart. Okay.
Throw a dart on the map. You'll find us.
Caleb knows all about Ella J.
The only parts of Atlanta that I know outside are like there's an area with like a weird cult-like resort called Serenbe.
Oh yeah,
Huh.
I've heard
And
of
I
Serenbe.
stayed in Serenbe one
Interesting.
time, and it was fucking wild as hell.
You've been to the Big Chicken, I'm assuming. I'm sure someone's taken you there.
Oh,
right?
in Marietta?
Marietta.
Yeah, a friend of ours I would stay with years ago.
Equally as cultish as the Serenbe, I would argue, but
Needlessly cultish.
Yeah, the cult of the red chicken. You know, yeah, it was weird, man. But yeah, that Serenbe was wild. We should do a whole episode just on Serenbe.
no, I should. And I've never been, so it'll give me an excuse to go visit it.
Just stay away. You know, you're white, so you're fine. But you know,
Caleb, I don't know if you know this, but you're also white.
shh, don't tell anyone. They completely can't tell just by my voice.
Anyway, so yes, Hashim. It has been a long. Oh,
We've
sorry,
also
go
got I'm sorry, I've got two other plugs
Please.
in October. I want to say like the last 2 weekends we've got multiple shows that are going to be at the Lanier Technical College campus. They've got, I know there's like an oddity show that's going to be on the 17th of October.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and there's a comic book festival literally the weekend after that. I think that's like the 24th or something like that. So I'll make sure I get you guys some dates. We'll definitely have that posted.
So you got a bunch of fall stuff coming up. This is like your triumphant return to dealing with the masses, man. I'm proud of you, buddy.
Yeah, it is. I miss it. It's fun. I've been a hermit for quite some time.
Two suggestions.
Mm-hmm.
One, bring hand sanitizer.
Always. And airborne.
Two, bring lots of drugs.
Well, that's what the airborne's for.
Because that's how you cope. That's how you cope with the masses. If Dragon Con has taught me anything, it's drugs and hand sanitizer.
Doing lines of BC powder these days, sir. I swear to God, you guys are on the right vibe for about what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, I gotta say, I had a little bit of an inkling as to what you are going to talk about, but I will say, I'm like a virtual clean slate when it comes to the ins and outs of things. I know what it is, I've heard of it, I've seen things on television about it, but I've not ever been.
Would
I've not
would
ever
this
experienced.
would this be the 1997 cinematic masterpiece starring Nicolas Cage, The Wicker Man?
Ooh,
Because
close.
I have not seen it.
Close.
Really, I'm close. Okay.
I know there was something
It's-
with bees
it-
involved.
it's
in that.
definitely got a big wooden burning dude in the end. There's not a real guy
Mhm.
inside of it.
Made of
Hopefully,
wicker.
they do everything right.
Nicolas Cage.
Nick Cage gets to
Oh.
live like he always does.
I am locked in. Let's do this. Whatever we're
Let's
talking
go.
about.
Lay it on us, man.
Wanted to talk to you about actual burn festivals and Burning Man. They're distinctively, I want to say they're two things, but they're two in one. So
It's a twofer.
we're going to talk quite a bit about them.
Now, this isn't like Matthew McConaughey presents Burning Man, is it? Because usually when I think Burning Man, I think Matthew McConaughey.
Hey,
for sure.
everybody.
All right.
All right. Let's get down into this.
It's interesting to me, like, especially doing further research on seeing how this sort of like permeated into popular culture over the years. It's fascinating. And I've, you know, me, like, okay, so your audience doesn't know me, but Brian and I, we go pretty way back. I like to dabble in a lot of like different fringe elements here and there. It's just, you know,
He be dabbling.
you just walk it by, it's on the shelf. You're like, what in the hell is a furry? And then all of a sudden you learn about the whole universe. Like, oh, I respect that. It's maybe not for me, but I get it.
You know, we got some cruises focused on those. That we
Yeah.
could point you to.
You move seamlessly from genre to genre more than anyone I've ever seen. I mean, I pride myself on being able to relate to people that I don't know. I consider myself pretty outgoing, pretty gregarious, but you can wind up like, oh man, I was at a yacht at a rave in the middle of the Mediterranean for a week. That would be
True.
you 100%.
Wow.
Like, I just wound up there after going to like Costco with somebody I met. I'm like, okay.
No doubt.
That's wild, and I admire that so much because it's like just this openness.
Next week we're climbing Machu Picchu. So I'm like, okay, sure.
That's a rough one. That Machu
that-
Picchu business.
Yeah, it is.
You're a very go with the flow. You don't have any preconceived notions, or I've not known you to have very many that would prohibit you from a good experience. So that's one thing that I've noticed about
Well,
you.
yeah, you know, if your life is supposed to be a story, you know, you listen to the currents of the world. It'll guide you down a little breadcrumb path, and then all of a sudden, like, you know, you've achieved some sort of accomplishment you didn't know that you were supposed to get. Like, now I know how to make dill pickles.
Last time I listened to the flow of the world, I ended up locked in a bathroom at a Circle K in Huntsville, Alabama. So I don't know if I can do that anymore.
I need to know more of the story immediately.
There's worse cities in Alabama to be locked in a bathroom.
Not many. Not many.
Noda
Yeah.
Solga. Them's his fighting words.
I passed by the exit for Noda Solgo on the trip back from Pensacola. A lot of olas happening and ogas. So Burning Man is in the Nevada. Is that where it takes place? The main one?
Yes.
Okay.
The main current to do Burning Man proper TM trademark, that is in a place called Black Rock City. It is in Nevada and like pretty much in the middle of the desert, for lack of a better term. I think the closest real city nearby is probably like Reno, which is like I think an hour and a half away.
Oh wow, okay.
Not terribly far.
Yeah, so it's pretty far.
There is a
out in
town
the middle
that-
of nowhere.
If I will read just
Yeah.
from my cursory search here, Black Rock City is a quote temporary pop-up metropolis in northwestern Nevada.
Wait, hang on.
that hosts
It's
an
a-
annual
it's a-
Burning Man event.
pop up, like it doesn't exist when the
Yeah.
festival's not going on.
I guess not.
That
I
is
mean, yeah.
no. There's a nearby town that basically is just nothing but storage units for like
It's-
most of the shit that goes out
It's
there. at
built
this point.
on the dry lake bed or playa of the Black Rock Desert, roughly 100 miles northeast of Reno. So it's in the middle of the desert.
Hang on. This picture is getting weirder and weirder already because you got like the
Yes,
the
sir.
town when the town is not actually hosting Burning Man. There is no town. It simply disappears off of Google Earth for the hour. You know, replaced by like an Epstein
It's like a town of
Files
requirement
sign or something.
That's what it is.
But then
yeah.
also the only nearby thing is a bunch of just like you store it buildings.
Mm-hmm.
That's an hour and a half outside Reno. Who the fuck is storing what out there? Is it like nuclear disposal waste? Like, what is that?
I don't. Hey, it's just funny how human beings and patterns and migrations work. But I
The
can
only thing
tell you a
they're
bit about
migrating
that
out
too.
there is death.
But if you look at the aerial shots, it looks like the Trade Federation ship from like episode 1 a little bit.
Yeah, it turns
the way
into
things
like
are all organized.
like it starts off like in these concentric, turns into a giant half
Interesting.
circle by the end of it. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. So this town, and how long has Burning Man been happening there?
Well, at that particular location, I want to say that they've been doing that since like somewhere between 90 and 92. I had the actual year, but a lot of these I had to do in swaps. They've kept an extensive history of all of this starting up. At the same time, they didn't. Like, it's like there's certain things that's
Their Wikipedia is pretty long from what I'm looking at.
It is. Like, you can find out what happened every year. But there's also part of this ethos that they've had with it up until social media really kind of took hold. Was they really would like discourage people in bringing like recording equipment, not necessarily for like outing anybody for anything, but it's one of those you need to just experience this and try to like keep that in your heart.
Live in the moment, not through a screen. Yeah,
exactly. And they've been about that since the 80s, like the whole time.
So it goes back. That's when it started. Was the 80s?
It started in 86.
1986. I was 9 years old. When
I'm kind of digging that idea of not bringing screens to record things, like living in the moment, experiencing it, and then also letting your memories kind of change with time. The more you kind of revisit those memories, the more they kind of almost mythologize in your own brain. You start making connections that weren't there, or upon examining later, you're altering the memory, so to speak, but it's still all really happened. Just your conscious recollection of it is different. I'm a fan of the band Ghost, as I'm sure I've talked about before, and their whole last concert was done in a way that there was no cell phones, no recording devices in the building, so nobody was taking pictures of the band, nobody's posting on social media. You actually had to lock up your phone in a little bag and wear it around your neck or whatever for it. And it made the whole experience much more cool because we were all locked in. We're not texting our friends or anything.
I think Jack White started doing that too at his shows. Jack White was interviewed recently for the most recent album that he put out, and he said he's starting to do that more.
I think it's great. It's super fucking annoying. So let me just make sure that everyone knows that's clear. Because
Caleb just has his phone on record the entire time for every concert he's at. He's just holding it up. He's got the selfie stick. He's just like, "Hey everyone, I'm at Ghost right now. Look, it's Papa Emeritus."
I sound just
Caleb.
like some girl named Brittany from like Southern California.
Like and subscribe, bitches.
Right.
Get on my level.
But no, I like the idea of putting those things away and actually experiencing the things that are around you and paying attention and actually connecting with the people around you and the things. That is amazing.
It gets you immersed very quickly just into the whole experience of it all. Like from the start, it's funny you said that. That was actually something that was very active on my mind when I first got to my first one some dozen years ago. Or whatever.
This is Burning Man you went to, or this is another different burn?
It was a different burn.
Okay,
but I can liken that. Okay, so every burn experience, no matter which one you go to, they're all different, but like special in their own way. I would dare never say like one is way better than the other. Now, anybody who hasn't been to Burning Man definitely wants to go.
Unless there's one that they don't burn anything, and that would kind of be a disappointment.
That'd be Drowning Man, and they just stick a guy in a pool.
That has and does happen for different reasons, and I got to get to that too. But yeah, man, it's okay. So I've cobbled together some information. A lot of it was between some older burners, excuse me, and Reddit people who actually succinctly like was able to put together like just kind of to get you an idea for Burning Man here.
So let me ask a question real quick, because I've not been to these, and all I've seen are like various pictures.
I've never been either.
Is it like what are the people who attend this? Like, I tend to think of it as like hyper goth meets Mad Max. Like we're cobbling shit together. I'm gonna build a car out of like this old shack and a couple of Dristan tablets. And we're gonna drive this down the street. And I'm gonna sell crack. I don't know.
Yes,
Yeah.
the Ford Dristan gets a lot of good miles.
Interesting. No. Because usually they don't organize.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
All right, yeah, that makes sense.
For the most part, at least in my experience, you have like everybody that you went to art school who didn't fall out of love with art. And I'm talking
all
like
three of us have been
art.
to art school, so we understand that reference.
Yeah, for everybody that didn't give up on the passion in some kind of way, they found a way to funnel that through this. And ultimately, it's because the event itself, they're not open to selling anything in between anybody once you get inside there. The barrier to entry really is just paying to go. So you can
So it's
kind
a
of take that
barter
as you will.
system when
But
you get in?
there's not even a barter system. It is you can gift somebody whatever you gift them. That's not to be anticipated, but you're not really supposed to expect that either. Like you can't just be going around expecting people to give you stuff. Like that's not how that works. Like somebody can gift you something cool.
So you're not going to go like, if you show up with like, let's say the bare
Mhm.
necessities, like a sleeping bag, you know, rain gear, whatever, but you didn't bring any food. You forgot food for some reason. Could you survive the weekend on not bringing
You
anything like
could.
that?
I wouldn't suggest it. You definitely want it.
No, I'm just
But
saying if
right,
shit
right.
happened, like, you know, I don't know, a giant crow carried off your food pack or something like that. And you're like,
By far
ah,
you can.
Mhm.
A lot of it is about community bolstering between basically like performance artists,
Yeah.
musicians. They're setting
So
up like kind of like these
Thunderdome.
little town territories and like little spots here and there. And every burn has a different feel in that same
So
regard.
kind of like traveling circus meets open air market
Yes.
bazaar kind of thing.
So while you can expect like the one that's in a desert is going to have, I mean, it's like it's already being weathered by the desert.
Mhm.
So everything else is going to have a desert feel. So yeah, it's going to have that Mad Max one. There's one in Georgia that it goes by the name of Alchemy. That it's like it looks like it's done in at least the first few I went to. I swear to God, it was like the Burning Man in the Shire, but it was wild and it was just.
I'm going on an adventure.
But it was like it didn't have the Mad Max thing, but it was like you had like people, it was like just these gangster looking fairies
Wow.
walking
I mean,
around. Like
that
you had,
sounds like a
all
bad
kinds of
day at
just
Disney, too.
wild
Yeah, that
Gangsta
sounds
looking
like-
fairies is a funny sentence, by the way.
but it worked. The whole thing, it was honest to itself, and
Yo,
it
you about to get
worked.
some pixie dust, bitch? It's like, oh, Jesus Christ.
It can't. Depends on who you
Man,
are.
Tinkerbell really let herself go, man. Jeez.
Like for to give you for instance, like the first time I went, it actually stormed the first night. Like I got there, I think I got there like a Wednesday night or a Thursday night.
Now, are you in a tent?
Yes.
Are you in the car? Are you in a cabin? Like, how does
Well,
this work?
it's the majority of them are just like you bring either a camper if you kind of have you're living like that, but for the majority of them you're just camping in a tent. Now you can have it to
Okay.
however your heart's desire. You just you use the amount of room that you need. All you gotta do is just make sure you clean up behind yourself.
Can you car camp too, or is it just strictly no cars allowed? in
There's
the tent?
certain designated spots for that, so you could do car camping
Oh,
as
okay, gotcha.
well. You may not be where you want to be because of that, but you can do it. So it just depends on how they run the event. Like I can't speak for them all, but for the most part, I've never been given much pushback about doing that.
Hashim, I want you to speak for all of them. I'm just kidding. Don't
This
do
is
that.
your one chance to clear the air about these festivals. And if you don't get them
Mhm.
all,
Make as many assumptions as you can.
Speaking for 700 burns around
Right.
the world.
and go.
I speak for the Burns.
Well, yeah, no. But for the most part, like there is like that. There's first off, there's that undercurrent of like the rugged individualism. Like, all right, this is just me and what I brought with me. You want to definitely. All of them will always tell you bring enough water because
Yeah.
you never know. Like,
Yeah.
bring enough
At
water. I don't
least
give a damn
2
what
bottles,
temperature
people.
it is outside.
Especially if you're going to the desert.
Which one you're going to, you're going to need it. It always happens.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter what you prepare for, the weather's going to throw you a curveball. So there's that. My first night that I went there, there was a torrential downpour that nobody called. And out of everything, my bag of clothes got wet. And so, I talked to a neighbor. They're like, oh, man, yeah, you're just going to have to let those dry out, dude. You go down there to the Giving Tree. They got some clothes. I'm like, wait, what's a Giving Tree?
Wait, what?
Yeah. Okay, so there's
The book by Shel Silverstein?
apparently. So a lot of these burns tend to be like I said, they're interconnected communities.
yeah.
And during the course of the year, sort of like I guess a private, I don't know, goodwill, so to speak. But like they get like this burner communities like clothing from like different plays and all kinds of stuff. And you can go down there and on God, you'll find like a marching band jacket just
What?
chilling there.
So it's like a thrift store that you don't have to pay for anything, really.
Yeah, but it's almost like one of those old like RPG video games where it's like if you just come back at a different time of day, it just has
Just
a
has
random
different-
drop for
Oh, well,
you.
this didn't have a
stuff.
crossbow when I was here last time.
It is like some Animal Crossing dope
Hey,
shit.
man, the thrill of active community.
So
Right,
people will
yeah.
bring stuff that they will donate to this
Yeah.
giving tree. I don't know if every
And
burn it's called that or
but
not.
it flows
yeah.
even there. It's not just somebody brings all that stuff. Everybody else also like kind of just takes and
it's-
pulls at the same
Oh,
time.
I see.
So
Well, like upgrading and downgrading over the course of the event,
and
people
it's,
will like.
but it's hella random on
gotcha.
top of it. So it's just like
That's kind of cool though. 'cause
it is really weird. But that's how I got through like my first day. It's like, oh, okay, now I just honestly look like I just fell off of Mars. But it works and this place is taking care of it. So here
Well,
we
I imagine
go.
like the look you would fit in pretty well.
Yeah.
With that look at these
It
things. I
didn't
would
take
imagine.
much.
So I guess I'm imagining like if you were looking for like a saxophone, a VHS copy of like the Facts of Life season 3, and maybe like some nipple piercings, like that. Go to the Giving Tree. And
If not the
probably
Giving
find
Tree, there's at least a quest or something happening.
I was gonna say, please tell me there's got to be.
You
a
can walk
scavenger hunt
away
of
from
these
the whole festival with all those items and more. And I'm not saying to go there to get that. That's just how it works.
it. Right.
I could just see you
Right.
rolling through this like Katamari Damasu, just like collecting shit as you just go through this
Right.
this thing, just like rolling through like, oh man, I got a keyboard for some reason. Cool. So when you have you have the tents there. Now, how does that work with all like the market and the shops and stuff?
Well, a lot of people do is this. It's like you'll have somebody who so maybe you'll have, especially you remember this in college where it would be like an apartment with like 7 or 8 dudes and like everybody got like all these different jobs. You kind of getting perks from each different jobs and you also do like a different thing under that same tent. Also at a burn, you may have somebody that has this idea where it's like, man, we got all this ramen. I'm a G at cooking ramen. That's what I'm going to do here. And that's all I'm going to do is just make ramen all day. Now, they're not bringing any plates or cups or spoons or nothing.
They're
That's
just
on
making
you.
ramen.
If you show up to his
Pour
tent,
that boiling ass ramen in my hands like a Japanese vending machine, please.
what's known throughout the land when
immediately
you go
where I
there, that people try to tell you like, hey, make sure you bring like a plate and a cup, like a collapsible one if you can, or like a bowl or something.
Sure.
Because you don't know, you're just going to run. Like, there's one I was in where this lady had, in the middle of this field, had hooked up with like all these bricks and was making chicken cacciatore.
What?
And was
That
like,
sounds awesome.
it was awesome, man. It was really good too. It was like at the right time. It was like, okay, like, and
So you just roll up on whoever and get a plate of chicken
you could
cacciatore and some ramen.
if you catch somebody cooking and like they'll just
In your hands,
And-
though, because you didn't bring your bowl.
right.
I had mine though.
You just
I'll
got to
keep-
make your shirt
you
into a
gotta-
basket like a person
Oh,
gathering
man,
berries.
by
in
the time you've
forest.
done this a couple times, you'll have like basically a utility belt. There'll be a hippie utility
Yeah.
belt of some sort that you fashion, and it'll have all your back gadgets on it. But you'll be perfectly fine on anything you run into.
So like there's no like, let me go online and find like a recommended packing list for this event. This is like you need
There's
like
got to be, right?
like, okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pack like a plastic bowl. I'm going to pack like a dog collar. I'm going to pack this taser that I've got. I'm going to pack a 12 pack of like 9-volt batteries.
I'll bring my travel ball gag, but not my home ball
Right.
gag.
No, because
or
we do
whatever.
not want to lose that out in the desert. And then, and then like a laser disc player, as well. Like right. This is like none of it. Like for somebody like me who's like, I need to prepare for every possible contingency. I'm rolling up with
there's none.
maybe, okay, you know what? I've just answered my own question. That's why those you store it places are out there, because people just bring
Yeah.
shit and then they rent it and they're like, I ain't bringing this back next year. I'm just sticking
That's
it in
pretty
that thing.
smart.
And that's all it is. That's why those exist. Never mind. I found it. Problem solved.
Well, at least for definitely a lot of like the larger structures, they definitely need to stay out there. I don't know who wants to bring a 60-foot tall, flaming minotaur back. That's got to get stored someplace. So
That's not fitting in the overhead compartment of your plane.
It's not. It's going to really lessen your gas mileage when you're trying to tow that thing back to the East Coast.
Sir, excuse me, sir. You cannot preach the gospel on this airplane while we're stalled. Also, you cannot bring this 40-foot flaming minotaur in the overhead bin. So,
All right. So you're at the burn. you're in this field or wherever there's a forest, there's maybe a body of water, you're bopping around from tent to tent. Like, what's the vibe like? Is it people just out making music, cooking food, making art kind of thing? Or is it like a structure? Are there events? Like, what's going on?
It's almost like if you took the element that you would have at, like, say, any convention, you know, like the spectacle of, like, there's just a 1,000 people in this space, and you know for a fact every space has something different now, and it's wildly on the spectrum of creativity. I mean, you could find, but there's so many ifs. Like, I could spend the rest of this time explaining to you just the random stuff I've seen over the years. But you have all these people. You can hit
some highlights if you want. I mean, we're all ears. We don't know anything about this, so yeah.
For sure. But and here's the thing: it does run day and night. That's the other appeal to it.
So it's a nonstop.
It can be a nonstop party.
So it has hours.
Well, I mean, aside from like the whole checking and
the ramen tents only open till 4
and
p.m.
everything, but
then they close down.
Look, this guy's been working all day in a fucking desert making ramen because that's his jam. At night, he wants to go rave.
That's right.
Okay.
You're talking about, you got thousands of people that are out in a single spot, like, and tens of thousands at that, depending on the size of the burn that we're going to.
That was gonna be my next question. Like, how many people show up at these things usually?
Well, the smaller ones I tend to go to, I want to say that I think they were somewhere about 10,000. They weren't like super huge. It's not ultra dense, but it's a lot of folks. And they're like on a 5-mile stretch most of the time. They usually find a
okay, so you have enough room to move around and chill and whatever.
Yeah. Like the last couple years they've done it, I believe it was just like on a 1-mile strip, but it was like a mile by a mile and a half. Like, it's something crazy, dude.
It's not like 10,000 people in like a decommissioned like Pizza Hut or something.
No,
you know, you're just like out in the middle.
No,
yeah.
These days they tend to be like on just an open field.
10,000 people in a decommissioned Pizza Hut is the name of my autobiography. I just need you to.
I think Natalie Merchant wrote that song. Anyway,
now during the day, similar to like a convention, you'll have people that are like hosting various workshops. And again, this workshops is just any kind of wild things, like, you know, come here and paint some hummingbirds with me, or you can come over here and make an adult toy with these other people, like, and literally like.
Wait, did you say a belt toy or an adult toy?
An adult toy, yes.
Okay, good, gotcha.
Yes, with silicone.
One for grown-ups.
For
like
grown
you
folks.
can come and make.
We're gonna circle back to that tent in a second. No, wait, I have to ask one question.
I was gonna say, I think like the adult toy is like, you know, you're gonna make some vintage 1984 Kenner Star Wars toys, you know.
I could show you one.
You have one?
Yeah, I do. Of course I do. Come on now. I happen to be near one.
Oh shit. Oh, we're gonna take a picture of this and put it on the show notes though, so people can see this.
They were making floggers, and I was like, I've never had a flogger before. I don't even need to use this, but I did make, you know, the what was your Jedi Mace Windu?
Mace Windu. Yeah, it's got the purple.
I wanted to make sure I at least got that done right. So
for those of you who aren't familiar with what a flogger looks like, imagine like a cylindrical tube, maybe like an inch and a half around, and at the end it looks like a bunch of tassels. I presumably they're made out of leather, maybe.
Yes.
Out of or some kind of like.
This one was made out of
textile.
Out of like a
rubber, maybe.
Bike rubber, yes.
Bike rubber and a partially opened package of Twizzlers. You know,
it's like a little whip kind of thing. Yeah, it looks good. I like it, and it's the one he made is purple and looks like a lightsaber, so that's kind of cool.
Thank you.
Wait, getting back to so you say you're there and you're teaching a painting workshop or you're doing painting with people. Now, does that, for lack of a better term, act as currency for goodwill towards something else? Like, oh, hey, I got you. I taught this thing. Now I can go drink at the party tent, or I could go get a snack at something, or you know what I mean? Does this all just kind of iron out, however it is?
It's open to all.
Open. Well, no, I mean like the give and take of it all is I guess what I'm kind of focusing on. Maybe it's not about that. Maybe I'm just too stuck into my capitalist brain, man.
Well, the nice, I guess, recreation from dealing with capitalism while you're there is that you're not having to worry about paying for anything. Now, the back end of that is you only have what you bring. So bring exactly what you need. And then if you can bring more than that, sure. My thing is like the more I tend to do them, I don't bring in excess, nor do I go there trying to get anything either. It's just more for the experience at this point. But you still end up with like, you know, trinkets, like you meet people, somebody's going to gift you this thing. Again, everything's communal. So it's you'll have this ramen guy that's making ramen, but he's only going to make it as long as he feels like it. If he's cool about it and he's trying to like build his own little community there of like-minded folks, because they'll start hanging. It's like, again, it's still kind of hippie-ish vibes too. So like people gonna hang out where there's some food at. And then y'all start rapping about this, that, and the third.
I just imagine you're staggering around at 3:00 in the morning off some kind of Molly trip. Like, man, I could really go for some. I'm like, no, man, I don't do ramen anymore. Now it's all about jelly sandwiches. Oh, fuck.
Dude, my favorite, no lie, my favorite, dude. I'm stumbling around. I think it was at 11:30 at night between some tents, and this one guy had on like I don't know how or why he brought a little projector with him, and he's watching some old monster movie
on a laser disc.
on probably. And he's got like this tiny little like 6-foot table, and he's just sitting there chopping up stuff. I'm like, man, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm just making pizza.
All right.
I'm like, word? And he was like, yeah, you want one? I'm like, all right, what you got? And he just like, he's got down here. I was like, all right, you can make me a broccoli pizza. Let's do this right now. Did he have like
an oven with him to do this with, or just?
He had an oven with him. Then he starts telling me about how
awesome.
He works in corporate America and it sucked out his soul. And like the best time of his life when he was a manager at a pizzeria in his early 20s. And so like this to him is giving back. And it was the best pizza I ever had.
And also, hey, free monster movies. So that's cool.
Dude.
That sounds like something straight out of did either of you guys see the movie? I think it was called The Menu.
I've heard of it.
With Ralph Fiennes.
Fantastic movie. Right. So good.
Yeah, so it's like the end of the movie, and I'm gonna spoil this, but it's been a few years since it's out, so fuck you if you haven't seen it.
Ouch.
Sure.
But
I'm sure.
Yeah, hey, you know what? Cover your ears.
Cover your ears, man. You got to see. It's on Amazon Prime. No, it's so good though.
But there's a scene at the end of the movie where Ralph Fiennes, who is this like world-class, world-renowned chef who is like at the top of his game, his favorite thing, the thing that brings him joy, because he's kind of lost, like the whole concept is he has lost the love of doing it, and he's creating these menus for people who are just bullshit influencers and restaurant reviewers, and he's lost all of his joy for doing it, but he's the best at this. And Anya Taylor-Joy's character basically realizes that the thing that brought him joy the most was just making a simple cheeseburger. And so she asks at the end, she won't eat his food. She, people are dying in his restaurant at this event because he's just fucking had it with life.
It's a pretty great film.
He's killing these people.
It's a good commentary on like.
And she asks him just to make me your cheeseburger. Just an old, like, what did Anthony Bourdain call it? He's just an old burger slut. He just loves it, and so that's what he makes for her, and she eats it and she loves it, and like she's like the only one who lives out of all of these people because he's just like, fuck it, I love you.
So if you're a final girl at a psycho restaurant, order the cheeseburger is the moral of the story.
Order the cheeseburger.
Right.
But that's exactly when you said that this guy worked in corporate America and all this stuff. That's exactly what I thought. I was like, this is Ralph Fiennes, who instead of murdering everybody in his restaurant, he just went to Burning Man and made pizzas.
He made pizza and watched monster movies.
Right. And like and you know what, like also having done that too is like I get it. Like, dude, if that's like your only release like the whole year, like you can just see it in when that person is giving from themselves just openly out for community. So you have people that do that. You'll have day bars, you'll have night bars, you have people that just do all manners of stuff.
What's the like the clubs? Is there music just from everywhere, or is there like a definitive like music section, or is it like
depends on the location?
Because that's got to be wild if it's just everyone blaring techno at the same time.
And that's typically what happens. As it's kind of a blob of music once you get further away from it, that kind of ish. But
because there isn't like performers that show up that are like it's like a concert or anything, right? Like it's not like you're going to see a band play or whatever.
Right, it's not like Coachella with a giant wicker burning statue. This is a whole different.
The cool
club,
thing that I've seen a lot with the ones in Georgia, regardless of the location, is that you're guaranteed to have somebody have a nightclub that's in the woods, and it's always badass.
Actually,
there was one that was famous for it was Area 51. No one's allowed to tell you where it is, but you could kind of figure it out pretty easily, especially at night, because it's like the only green light that's in the middle of the scary ass looking forest. But you're like, Okay.
You see that sky beam coming out of that clearing over there? Guess it's over there. Cool. Let's go to that.
One of my other favorite ones, oh God, what was this? There's a place called Insignia. And I know they've popped up on TV, like in the background and like, I don't know, like a CSI show or whatever before, but like,
It's not like a boner medicine.
the It's a bar. The first time
Like
I
that
went in
fucking
there,
Sky Rizzy or some shit.
these guys, they're the ones that you're talking about, your Thunderdome. They will get you in this gigantic metal dome, and the top of it is on fire.
What?
Who runs Bartertown?
Bar itself is piped around, also on fire.
Wait,
so you
was
gotta
this-
like get your drink over the fire.
This is at
And
the Georgia ones?
Yes. Yes.
Dude, that sounds
and
awesome.
I know they tour around, like they go to other burns, so like they're easy to spot. It just depends on like how many of their crew that they bring and how big of a setup they can do. But when they have like their whole team, it's a sight to be. It look like some Michael Bay shit. I swear to God. It looks like
can I go there if I wanted to go there and have like questionable medical procedures done? Like I want my entire right arm replaced with like a steampunk, like arm with like Furiosa. Can I do that there?
This is a whole new level of looks maxing. This is like
Right.
burn maxing, I guess.
I'm gonna burn max my
Hey
upper body,
man, it's
please.
like it's interesting to see where people have taken like this level of creativity. Like it's like to the max of like anybody that knows how to just handcraft.
I can only imagine it's just like being at an old like when you watch a movie and they're like usually in like a Middle Eastern country and they're in like this crazy street bazaar market where everyone's like one guy's breathing fire, another person's selling handmade pots of something, and it's just like you're walking down and there's smells and color and sounds everywhere, and you're just like, holy shit, like it's all this overload all the time.
And it's an organism in of itself. Like, and you can feel it shift when the times of the day shift. Like certain things are better for the morning, the night. So yeah.
What got you into them? Going back to, sorry, I cut you off. You can get back in later, but what made you first want to go, I guess was my question.
Two things, and talk about Distracto, because this is going to also lean off the topic, but
this is our bread and butter.
Now, you were talking about us going to ACA. Were you ever part of one of those cool kid crews that got an invite to go to, what was the kids who were making all the big sculptures? The metalworking students.
When you said cool kid crew and you used me in the same sentence, I'm highly flattered by that. No, I was never part of the cool kid crew.
But I know you're aware of them.
But I'm flattered that you thought of me that way.
So
I
there
was aware
a few
of them,
different.
but I didn't hang out. The sculpture department was like a weird forbidden forest to me. I never hung out there, honestly.
When I went to school, I was 10 years older than everyone else there. So I was like the Steve Buscemi going like, hello, fellow students.
Howdy, fellow teens.
So yeah, exactly. So that was me. I spent my time touring and then used up a solid 10 years before actually going back to school, So yeah, so never was in the cool kids club. I was always the guy that people went, man, I wish this guy would shut the fuck up because all he does is, wax philosophical or some shit.
I was the nerdy kid that always got swept away into the dangerous kids, but managed to make it out. That's just the tale of my life, just in general. So, at some point, I ended up at just to give you an idea, Caleb. Most of those kids, especially after the first year, they don't tend to stay on campus. A lot of them found like these renovated U-Haul storage depots, the old ones from like pre-World War II.
Wow.
Like there was a bunch of them in Atlanta too.
So like no functional toilets, but we got a cool
they
place
figured
to
it
stay.
out. And I've been to a couple of those parties. Now, one of them was just like the coolest thing, and like they turned what would just seem, like a regular storage depot, like just the standard, U-Haul units, outdoor ones, into like a block party. And these kids had built these movable furnaces. Basically, like it's hard to call it a furnace, but just like this rudimentary, like in the bottom of it.
It's hard. One would not quite call
like
it
a forge
furnace,
type situation, or a kiln.
More of a crematorium.
It's definitely a forge. You throw some wood into the bottom of it, and like at the top, it basically is like this giant chute that goes up about 15 feet, and it was just basically two tops, and they'll just kick it, and you have chaff that's just blowing around, and it's just beautiful. the whole thing is beautiful. Like you're hoping everything doesn't catch on fire, but it is beautiful. Like objectively
Except for
speaking,
Johnny, who was secretly trying to set everything on
No,
fire.
why was this next to the sawdust factory?
Right.
I didn't think I would ever reminisce over the 90s, but man, like those were the hidden pocket, cool type of parties.
You kidding? That's all that's worth nostalgia waxing is the 90s. That's all of
Dude,
it.
like that was, those were the parties, man. I only got into a few of them, but that was like one of them where like that's just they're doing that and they're just pumping music, and that was just like the itty bitty version. And so I've always looked out for stuff like that. So we're gonna fast forward to like I think it was like maybe 2009 ish. I don't know if you guys remember that fun little website, Stumble Upon. I always kept saying that it was like it was like the TARDIS of like search engines where you just don't know where you're going. You just smack a button and you end up somewhere weird.
It was an aggregate site that like randomly would put you at a weird web page or something that would like take you down a rabbit hole, basically.
Grab a cocktail, sit down, and just hit the send me somewhere rabbit hole.
There was one where I landed on this guy's page and he had like 400 plus pictures of his time at this event, and it was the wildest thing. But it reminded me exactly of that night.
And this was Alchemy?
No, that was specifically Burning Man. Like I was just like,
okay.
And I started just digging so far into the Burning Man, and you find out about the Cacophony Society and like a few other things.
Whoa, back up. What's that? You're just throwing terms at me now.
Is that the one with is that the movie with Sean Connery where they all played like literary heroes?
I was thinking Robin Williams. Was it the Robin Williams movie? That was the Cacophony Society. Wasn't Brendan Fraser in that?
There's definitely some dead poets and literary figures involved in this. Yeah.
I'll say this: you guys are more familiar with the Cacophony Society than you know, but it wasn't called by its name. It just happened to go by Fight Club, but that's a whole other thing.
All right.
Yeah, see, there's a lot of history to this stuff, man. It's just funny how things unfold.
I was thinking like Skull and Bones too, like that weird
hidden
club that
society
was
kind
part
of
of like the
stuff,
Ivy League school and all that. Yeah.
So, I'm sitting there, I was like, man, how am I going to afford to go out to Nevada? And how do I afford to go to Nevada in the middle of nowhere? I got a car with a missing taillight.
No problem. You can probably find that at the Giving Tree. So.
Yeah, you're very right. I probably could have found a whole car there at that point.
I cobbled together this Ford Dristan, remember?
So
from earlier.
I talked to another diabolical friend of ours who's good at finding stuff, and immediately was like, no, there's one in Georgia. We're just going to go to Georgia. I was like, all right,
closer
bet.
than Nevada.
Like, bet. We don't have to go 7 states. Yeah, we're going to do that. So
no, HASHIM, Burning Man was inside of you all along.
Ultimately,
shut the fuck up with that.
It was the Burning Man we burned along the way.
I will still rather any day of the week. I will take Burning Man of the Shire than that shit out there.
Yeah, well, the desert, you're pretty remote, and if shit goes sideways out there, you're 100 miles or so from the nearest town. I know they have medical stuff on staff, but that's dicey if you get like
with a lot
trouble.
of those burns. You can't you're allowed to leave, but you can't come back in. Like that's just the kind of curb keeping like teenagers for coming in and going and stuff like that. So like
no
you can leave
because when you're in, you're in.
Yeah, when you're in, gone. You're in. And usually these places are still like a lot of those events are held in these really remote towns anyway. So after 8, 9 o'clock, like you are asked out if like you're missing something.
Now, is this on somebody's property they own, or is this like public land, or how are we doing this? Is it like somebody like rents his field out for the weekend?
Well, for Burning Man specifically, like
for like the ones in Georgia. I mean,
the ones in Georgia, they've gone. Okay, for a while there, they were using one specific guy's place, but eventually he passed away. I want to say in like 2018. 17 or 18, somewhere around there.
Hopefully not at the burn.
No, not at the burn. No, he was an older gentleman, but he loved the community and stuff like that. But he couldn't leave it.
He was an old hippie guy.
Yeah, but he couldn't leave them the land. Like that wasn't how that was going to go down. So they've had to use different field events ever since. So like it's been sort of hit or miss if and when they can have it and where they're going to have it. Usually it's just outside of Atlanta though.
So like on a completely different subject matter of these kinds of festivals that move. So like, I live in Illinois, and in central and southern Illinois, they used to, and I don't think it's here anymore, they used to host the Gathering of the Juggalos, and it was the giant festival. And if you have no idea what I'm
Join
talking
Distracto
about,
as we attend the Gathering of the Juggalos.
You'll have to fucking kill me because I will not go to that. I have been tormented my entire con life since I've been doing.
Is it in Illinois? Is that where it is?
But it was. I don't think it is. I think they moved it to Indiana because what happened is there would be this town that was like 3 to 4,000 people, maybe not even that many. It might have been 2,000. I'll have to look up the facts, but the idea here is that when the gathering would happen in this town, 70 to 80,000 people would descend upon this town of only a couple thousand, use all their resources, shop at the stores. They trashed this town every time they used it, and the town could not, I mean, literally, it was like if you showed up to this town, I think people left and didn't come back until after it was over, because if anything went down, there isn't enough law enforcement available or anywhere close that could potentially like cover the event that's happening. So that's like, I'm kind of wondering, how does that happen with...
For those of you that want advance warning, just so you know, the Gathering of the Juggalos, which is the 26th annual Gathering of the Juggalos, 26. Is being held in Max Creek, Missouri on August 19th through August the 22nd, 2020.
Well, I feel sorry for that entire town.
Max Creek, you might as well get the fuck out of there for that weekend.
Because it's like, there's no way to police that. There's more people. There's so many more people
year,
showing up that are part of this wackadoo like fan club. They're going to destroy everything, and this poor town of a few thousand have to kind of like clean this shit up after they leave. So how does that? I mean, I'm imagining there's something.
That is true.
These people are probably more respectful than
there is part of.
I would hope so.
Okay, so let me back up a little bit. I'm not going to just exposition dump on you, but I can at least tell you the answer specifically for that. A lot of it has to do with wrapped up in the 10 principles that they have that helps guide the culture at the bare minimum in an idealistic kind of way. But it does have some tangible, good, real world.
So they actually have guiding principles, whereas the Juggalos just have Fago and shit dollars.
Oh yes, yes. They've had to figure this out as this grew over the years. Like, because there's a part basically from all right, I'll run through real quick. The first from 86 to 1990, they had something to effect. They went from 20 people finding them on the beach. How this whole started was two dudes was like, dude, I need to blow off some steam. I'm gonna build this wooden guy and I'm gonna burn it on the beach. And that's just exactly what they did. And people passing by just hung out and
let's
yo, that
do
was kind of cool.
Year.
And that's basically went down. And they did it again the following year. But of course, and because they kept doing it, more and more people kept showing up. Some of their friends will find out. But you're also talking about this was in San Francisco.
Oh, okay. The Haight-Ashbury kind of stuff.
The Haight-Ashbury.
So you have the counterculture movement. You've got people that they're just bored. You got old counterculture guys. You got the people from the Dada's movement. All that stuff. They're still already out there, and they hear about this, and they're already doing these weird city games where it's they'll post. There's a few of them where it's we'll meet here at this time, but you kind of got to figure it out from a riddle off of a weird FM channel that kicked in.
God.
You opened a can of Snapple and there was a code on the bottom, and if you just kind of went to those coordinates, there'd be
it's
a
kind of like those
those
speakeasies nowadays. You have to dial a number, or someone has to tell you about it, and it's word of mouth and super secret kind of exclusive thing. Yeah.
So by the time they got to around 1990, and it got too big, and finally the authorities was figuring out because it was just too big of a crowd to hide it. They were like, well, we need to find a different place, and that's where they eventually figured out this spot out in the middle of nowhere, Nevada, and they figured out how to get some of the permits and to start doing the thing, and they kept incorporating it through some of those games, and that's where you get your Cacophony Society, where they were doing that kind of
thing. So they're
thing.
The society that's in charge of keeping it sort of
low key and hidden,
mysterious, and you have to be in the know to know about it and all that.
They're basically descendants of the Sphinx, yeah.
This is an actual quote. a randomly gathered network of free-spirited, united in a pursuit of experiences beyond the pale of mainstream society.
Ooh.
You may already be a member.
Well,
That
shit.
is like Fight Club.
Where's my card?
That's
I better
very
go
Fight
find it.
Clubby. It's very Fight Clubby.
Now, and your boy, Chuck Palahniuk,
Mhm.
he was part of one of those groups that was up in Portland.
Was that the impetus for the
So-
book Fight Club? The whole thing?
That a lot of it is what
Really?
really inspired that book. Yeah. Like the whole way how they come, because at the time, I mean, we're talking still, this is late 80s, early
Sure.
90s. You couldn't really, like, it was still like a very conservative air. You couldn't just be open about that. So like, yeah, they hid it in like these kind of tongue in cheek sort of things. We were still kind of young ourselves, so it's not like anybody was going to tell us. Like, you just sort of caught wind of it if you could. So by the time you got to college, like, that was when you really sort of figured that out after a certain point.
Yeah.
So
but yeah,
is it
man, that's
is there like some air to like if you're going to be like is there a higher echelon member bit where a member of this thing has to invite another member, or is this just like anyone who wants to come can do it and become that, or is there like a secret? Is there like layers within layers that you're talking about in these things?
it's layers and within layers, but similar to your Fight Club thing
Mhm.
was like, if you're going to try to join this group, your first time doing it, you got to do something.
You have to fight.
Like, you just got to host you got to host an event. You got to do something stupid. Like,
I would set up
if
the
you wanna
ramen booth
host,
right
like,
next to the ramen booth. Let's go.
It's not even like that, dude. They're doing stuff like on the
Choices,
city streets. So
motherfucker.
it's like, I'm going to dress up like, a priest, and I'm going to wed like these 2 sardines, and I want you to come here at 8:00, and we're going to have a whole procession.
So it could
and like, they
literally
would-
be anything you think of.
yes, it's just anything you think of, whether it's good or bad. It's just.
Did you
that's
see
what
the
it was.
sardine wedding? That was a weird thing.
But this is
Yeah, sorry, I can't hang out tonight, guys. I got to go to a fucking sardine wedding.
I'm the ring bearer at a sardine wedding. I don't know why. Can this be on my resume?
so those early years of how people were finding out about Burning Man was through those kind of activities and those kind of games.
Okay.
And that same spirit.
Did you do that? When you, on your first time, did you do something to ingratiate yourself with
I
the
did.
thing?
I did a few different things. I mean, like, there's like simple basic ones, because there's like enough people that'll have bars
Sure.
throughout that place. Like, seriously, just make sure you take a mug with you. You will find some of the best moonshine on planet Earth at any
In
one
the
of these
woods in
places.
Georgia.
You also will go blind.
Yeah.
Yes, you will taste the
boy.
color purple.
I am the burn.
So you could
Perfect.
do like a whole like beer tour or whatever. Like, that's
Like Epcot, but in the woods.
And everything's on fire.
whatever creative things people think of. There was a game one that spanned throughout the whole thing that basically was like
It was called Who's in My Mouth?
Jesus Christ.
and it was like a social meeting kind of game. It was like he set it up like this. Yo, check this out. This guy had this game where he set it up like you were sort of joining a cult, and like they asked you all these goofy questions.
Wait.
Yeah,
Pump the
go
brakes
figure.
on that a little bit. Sort of joining a cult sounds like joining a
Yeah,
cult.
no, I'm serious. Like they no, this is fun. It was fun. I promise. It's like seriously, it was. It was like the
I'll
color
drink the
crystal,
Kool-Aid,
right?
I
But
guess.
like, it's hammy enough to where you're like, all right, I'll play along. So like you answer like these goofy questions, and then they give you one of like 5 different colors. It's like, red, green, blue, whatever. And you get that, and then y'all start getting instructions. And like a lot of instructions are like, well, you need to go meet 3 other people that got like the yellow crystal. And so now you gotta walk
Mhm.
around this place. And you'll see people wearing them too, like after a certain point. Like once you know that this is in existence, it's easy to notice.
So it's like a scavenger hunt, basically.
Or it's like trading Pokemon cards.
Yeah,
at a
it turns
con.
into a scavenger hunt.
Yeah, that's cool though.
Yeah, so like you'll run into like
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff like that. And again, there's some that are like quite level G rated for some folks, and there's some that are not too bad, but like the adult themed stuff too. So
We want to hear about the
I
really
try to
bad
dispel
one.
the whole. I get that at least, especially at regular Burning Man, there's a lot of I'm not gonna call it debauchery, but definitely hedonism for sure. And it's
go
to
hand
be
in hand.
expected. They
Yeah.
do go hand in hand, but it's not as, I would say, cartoonishly blatant as it might
Sure.
have been told.
So it's not like Caligula style orgies happening all over the place, is what you're saying.
Well, that's after
Right.
dark.
No,
I mean,
no.
That's after you have the moonshine.
That's like expecting that at like a strip club,
Yeah.
like that. Everybody's like, "Oh, they're good." Like, no, the stripper is not in love with you. I promise.
So, all right. So on the level of hedonism, and I know like from someone who has,
excuse me, Brian, this is the 2020s. It's herdinism
or
now,
Vadenism,
please.
whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
Vadenism.
Yep.
All right. It actually sounds pretty cool. Actually, it sounds like some weird like Greek god. I practice Vadenism. Anyway, so when you went, maybe the first time, maybe I don't know how many times you've gone to these things, but what's
Several.
Okay. And I imagine
At least
there's a
one.
level of like, yes, this occurs here. We're not making a big deal out of it. But do you notice, like maybe do you notice like tourists come to these things like, I want to see some crazy sex stuff or whatever, and they're there for the wrong reasons, like that kind of stuff? Do you get a lot of that there?
It happens. They tend to get washed out.
Yeah, okay, I see.
Like, it's rare that you'll have a tourist that is also legitimately good at camping. Like, I've never seen the two. Like, somebody who knows how to who can take care of rugged stuff, like, and not complain the whole time. You'll be perfectly fine. Like, that's really what it boils down to. Because, like, at the end of the day, you're still taking care of yourself. And I've straight up tell folks, like, because the first thing I start asking is, like, how comfortable you are with just doing rugged stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If you cannot do basic camping, this is not for you.
Sure.
When I say basic, I mean, like, there are porta potties, like, that they do exist there. There are some camps at some of these events that set up whole communal showers, but it's not always a given. Like, you're not always going to find those there, but some of them do that. Now, are you...
Right. So going in, and you need to make sure that you can take care of basic hygiene, that you know how to, find a place to sleep. So you're not just fucking sleeping on the ground on some rocks or whatever, like there needs to be like a certain level of competency to attend.
Also, what you're comfortable with.
I mean,
far, because like,
literally stuff that you would know just walking.
Well, I'm just saying, like you can go take a shower. Like, these people got it set up. Are you fine with being naked in front of some strangers for a few minutes? Like, some people aren't.
Yeah.
And I can't hold anybody on that either. Like, if that's something you're not used to, that's something you're not used to.
So many boners.
But at the same time, they're not the same kind of people that's just going to be like, the second you unveil, like, ha ha, like, that's not going to happen.
Man.
Right. Really? Somebody moves the little thing and is peeping in there at you like,
No, it's nothing like that. Like, again, the whole thing it's as communal in the best possible way that it can be.
Yeah.
Because at least it's in like decent conditions. Now, if you want to like put a gun to my head and be like, can this like work for like a society? I'm like, I gotta figure out a lot of other rules, because like after 2 weeks, humans start turning into humans. So.
I was gonna say that the veneer washes off when shit starts getting real. It's like, okay.
Don't get me wrong.
I've run out of bottled water. I no longer have my preferred beef jerky, and I've had it with that fucking ramen guy. We're done.
I will say this, like, there's, and this is not to belittle anything or judge anybody, but I have experienced being homeless before, living in a car. I have experienced camping. Those are two different things. Wildly
entirely different things. One is because you want to do it. The other one is because you have to do it.
Right. When I'm pooping in the front seat of my car, it's not usually because I want to.
No, when you're making life decisions about
that's how you
what
tip
you
an
sneak
Uber,
in and out of, and that's a whole other kind of survival.
So how many burns have you done? How many is this for you?
Seriously, I lost count after like 7. But I know I have.
Oh, so you've been to quite a few.
I'm
I thought
in
it
the
was
teens somewhere, like the low teens.
Damn, really? All right. Wow.
Yeah,
okay, that was more than I thought.
A few.
So I got to say, what is the most unique or wildest thing that you have seen in your illustrious burn career? Because I did not know you had gone to that many.
The last one I went to, this guy made, and I thought this was part of like his nightclub, because he was propped up on top of a tiny hill, and it was a half moon, but it was a smiling half moon, and it was like, I don't know, it's hard to describe, maybe about 30 feet.
But it wasn't.
It was big. You could see it from wherever you're walking, like this half smiling moon is sitting there. Motherfucker was a car.
What?
But it was shaped like a ship that turned into a half moon, and it was like a buggy, and he rolled that in when they went to go burn the effigy. That was the flyest shit I've seen in a minute. Like,
wow.
I've seen a lot of stuff, but and I think I might have a picture of it. I'll be sure to send it over to you.
Well, it really just sounds like it's a way to kind of experience radical freedom and artistic
Man,
expression
yeah,
without any preconceived notion of what it is. So it's like freedom to the extreme.
absolutely.
Now, do you meet people that go back every year and you have like your burn buddies that you hang out with, or is it just like new people every time, or do you go by yourself? Do you go with people? Like, how do you do it?
Well, I mean, I have no qualms going alone if it comes down to it. I know a number of artists that do go, and I try to get like a decent litmus test of like how many. I like to know at least two people that are there just to know that there's like I could trust
Yeah.
that like such and such.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's been times where it's like, I'll know that somebody's there and never see them just for whatever reason, like just the will of the force kind of
Yeah,
thing.
because there's like 10,000 people there, so it's hard.
It's not just only 10,000 people. Again, man, it's a living organism. Like you just might shift and they shift, and that's just how the balance works.
There's really only 7 people there, but every 14 minutes they're changing outfits. So it feels like 10,000.
Usually you'll find that there's small pockets of friends, or at least friends that have befriended each other there or what have you, that all make their own little just their theme camps. So, and some theme camps are just literally them camping, and then there's some that are just open to the public. And again, it's any manner of creative thing, whether it be them lecturing something, or if it's something that they build. Usually most things.
Or the mud eating community that's just out there eating mud.
My second or third year at one, Caleb, that's funny that you said that, dude. We got hit by like this crazy ass storm yet again. And I was like, I prepared for this. I brought my galoshes and shit, right? I tore up my boots. Right after that, they had 3-inch mud everywhere. And everybody ended up deeming the whole thing Alcamud. Dude, at that point, you were king if you had shorts, because everybody's pants
Lord
were messed up.
Umbro.
Your socks couldn't hold it. Unless if you had wool socks, forget it. But everything was as mud. Like the whole...
This is starting to sound like Dungeon Crawler Carl here. He's got to go through the whole fucking thing with only his boxers,
Hey, man, the GM just rolls the dice and like, look, this is the conditions this whole time. Deal with it.
This sounds like an insane like campaign that like some forgotten god has concocted, and this is his way of getting worship every year. You know?
That easily. Yes. And considering the type of effigies they burn, that tracks. Like like if I can even just
perfect
visit,
See, that's all you needed.
If I could visit my conspiracy theory buddy in my head, that they completely agree with that too. That totally makes sense. The first one I went to, they burnt Father Time, and like, dude, like the whole perception of time after that was warped. Guaranteed.
We just killed time.
You don't know
man.
if it's day or night. You're just...
There's some of those people that never came back from Burning Man that year.
the Father Time was just made out of mushrooms like the whole time, and by burning him, it just everybody is so high, it's ridiculous.
One of my favorites. Did I mention Tree Star City by chance?
No.
They were at a recent one.
But
These guys were beautiful.
You better mention that right now.
You sure as fuck did not mention Tree Star City. That was a cosmonaut, Soviet program from the 60s to get to space, right?
I think that's a town in Animal Crossing, Tree Star City.
Okay, perfect. Either one.
So they're another ambitious group that decided to go into the woods with a bunch of lasers and a bunch of projectors.
Well, nothing bad can happen from that. So
you're talking like if Daft Punk joined Lord of the Flies right now.
It seriously looked like Daft Punk they went to like Rivendell and they were like, oh, we're going to do this with some laser projectors. Let's go. And that's exactly what they did.
Like Galadriel's out there clapping cheeks, man. You know,
it was both banging and beautiful at the same time. There's no way to describe it. I don't know how these guys did all this stuff with lasers.
Long extension cords.
They just channeled the 80s and were like, here, we got it crossed. There's no...
So this is just a party. This is a rave in the woods that people had just set up and called Tree Star City.
It was just a walking art.
Oh, it was okay. I thought it was just
of light. But they did have music that was coming and going with it.
Dude.
It didn't really matter. But it was still just a walking installation of art light. And that's what their contribution was.
That sounds awesome.
Gorgeous. Whether you're sober or not, gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Well, if I'm going to choose
Chef's
between being
kiss.
sober or not, it's not sober. I'm not walking through look. I'm not walking through a rave in the forest sober. I'm just going to tell you.
That's
okay?
fair. That's fair. I absolutely get that. Just make sure you ask whatever somebody's handing you. Like, what's this? It's blue.
All right.
Sure. Cool.
Remember how we killed time? This brings him back. Just drink it. What? It's like, okay.
But to answer your question
but-
earlier, Caleb, is okay. So on their principles, they got this one that's called "Leave No Trace."
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
And just to quote it, it's like our community respects the environment. We're committed to leaving no physical trace of our activities wherever we gather. We clean up after ourselves and endeavor, whenever possible, to leave such places in a better state than when we found them. And they have
That sounds amazing.
dead serious. Like, since I want to say, like it's been in their ethos since the start, but like every year they always get more and more serious about how they have to handle that. And it's like when I finally got into it,
Well, yeah, as it grows,
it was a well-oiled machine. And so it was me. I'm over here like, wait, what does that mean? Like, oh, moop. I'm like, what? They have a term, and it's called matter out of place. Instead of just calling it trash. Like, it's not just trash. It's like, yo, this did not belong here. I don't give a damn if it's just like something that's going to degrade over time. Pick that up, get it out.
Pack in, pack out kind of mentality. Yep. Yeah, I get it.
And I could speak for at least every burn. Now, they do also have people that volunteer. You can volunteer to do all kinds of stuff. And there's also volunteering to just clean up at any given point. And there's incentives to do it too. Like, you can get 10% off a chicken coupon or whatever. I don't know. But
have you ever volunteered at one or
do
just been a visitor?
I've been a visitor to most. I've volunteered-ish once with the art, but that's about it. I need to do more. I need to do more and better, but that's a whole other thing. I do love getting involved in my own fun way. Just because there's so much.
Well, that sounds
there's
devious.
so much art. Like, it's like,
I know how you are before and after you go to one, because I've talked to you as far as like, not necessarily about all the things that have happened at it, but like I've seen your demeanor completely shift from after you come back. You just like hit that Zen kind of status. You're just very like, all right, I kind of got my recharge for the reset. Exactly.
It's a reset.
It is pure creativity. Like, just like it is channeled. It is the portal to creativity. Like, you cannot. It's undeniable, no matter what. And part of why even I also kind of adopted a whole not taking too many pictures while I'm there, aside from everybody's privacy and everything, there is more to be said on the few pictures that I do have. It's like, that's not that though. Like, it is that. Don't get me wrong. Like, that's clearly a kiddie pool full of like a bunch of inflatable ducks. I remember this, but that wasn't what that the whole meaning of when I was there at that time. And like,
right, you're not getting any context.
There's no context. I was, in the Mexican standoff with like this other guy, and like, the ducks were right there, but that was their fault, right? So, you always,
right.
You always find that like you really hold true to those memories when you're actually more present with these things too, and that's just part of the whole being engaged. And again,
well, and then it becomes more mysterious. Again, it's more mysterious. The mystique is there. It's preserving. These things become legends, and this sure as hell can't be real. But yet part of it is, and yet there's probably, again, as I said, your memories change over time. That's why it's like unreliable to, you're not remembering the actual event. You're remembering the last time you remembered it. And that was a memory of the last time. So it biologically changes in your brain. These things are like that. And I can imagine the more fantastic, the more unexplainable, or the more, quixotic these things are, the more that memory makes even less sense. And so you're just left with the emotion or the experience itself kind of seared into your brain, and you're just trying to make sense of it all. And that's magic.
Well, it kind of sounds like it's the whole point of it all, from what you said earlier about the reason why this connection hub was developed is for the very reason that you just said, just to kind of, you get this, it's experience. It's not, pictures. It's not video.
It's also about as close as you're going to get to like a first person, I'm in a sandbox game. Like there's no point where you can't go and interact and be part of something. Like, even if you accidentally like trip over even somebody's like tent in the back, and you just now hey, now you're part of the story for 2 seconds, but you might end up getting a whole new friend out of this too. Like, you don't know. But hey, if you're open to it, you never know. But there's also there's this like it's the whole thing is ephemeral. There's never the same thing, not really twice. You can even have the same people come back, but it's never exactly the way it was the last time. They're either in a different spot. There might be, the couple broke up and now it's like a different dude. Like, you don't know, but it doesn't matter.
They have a tent with like a line of tape down the middle, and that's her side, that's his side, or whatever.
As long as the giving tree is there, everything will be all right.
So do you keep in touch with these people? Do you keep in touch with your burn friends like throughout the year, or is this just like we just kind of hang out on this weekend and then that's it? Or do you have do you belong to like groups online that you can talk about it and plan stuff, or is this just like you said, this ephemeral thing?
Well, there's there's plenty of Facebook groups for everything under the sun.
Sure.
You're well aware of that. But there's definitely Facebook
I just meant
groups
your
for
involvement.
my involvement.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a couple I'm involved
Yeah.
with just by proxy of other folks. So that's fun. I'm in proxy of 2 different art collectives that started up at one point, but it's
nice.
one of those hey, I had a lot going on, so I didn't want to overpromise myself either. But it's one of those, if I'm at the same event, I'll help out, guys. Y'all just tell me. I don't even want none of your food. It's just I'm here to help because I know what you guys are going through, stuff like that. So we have some friends that, they have been doing it longer than I have, and they started making their own bar. And every year they added to it, but it was beautiful watching that come into play. One dude had learned how to do wood making out of it just because he wanted to have this bar in mind to have every time. Now, he had been to so many, he didn't need to be a tourist. This was him just giving back something that he loved. And he got to be a bartender.
So this is a bar that he disassembles and reassembles at these things and makes
he got the wood, sanded it, cut it. It looks beautiful. It looks like a solid slab oak kind of thing. I just thought it was gorgeous. And even not that I'm a hard person to judge, but it's one of those I was quite impressed. I'm not just impressed with him, but it's just it's just, again, it's beautiful to see what comes out what the passion draws out of people at every turn. Everybody that comes out of it, even if you're not maybe outwardly creative in some regard, it still does bring out that extra verve out of you, so to speak.
Sure.
Yeah. That sounds actually very interesting. And honestly, I wouldn't mind checking it out. I don't know how well I would fare after a few days of being in the heat, not showering. That would bug me.
That's me after about 45 minutes.
It is similar to...
But I do want to see a laser. I want to see a laser woods exhibit.
True.
That sounds...
everybody do set up their stuff as best they can.
Do they do them is there any winter ones or fall ones?
There's
or cooler weather
plenty
ones?
in the fall. Matter of fact, that's usually the one that's in Georgia. Tends to be sometime in October, one of the latter weekends, if they tend to have it. But there's a number that are in the southeast that tend to either be in the fall or in the early spring. So it's not terribly hot. The worst one, and I'm not going to call them worse, when it comes to dealing with heat. I know there's one up in close to Knoxville. It's pretty popular though, but it's also in June.
And you've been to that one?
It happens the same weekend as Heroes Con all the time. I haven't had a chance to make that one. But a lot of people rave about it. That is awesome. I'm I believe you.
Tennessee in June
that's
is
the same
not
one
ideal.
that also got in a couple tornadoes. So it's we'll see.
Nope.
If I got the time, I'm maybe.
Well,
I'm noticing that you go to these things and there's flash floods and there's tornadoes and stuff is being
when you're
set
out
on
here
fire,
summoning Fortuna, you're just gonna have to get whatever happens. Nature's gonna come back at you.
So they do an effigy. Oof. They do an effigy every night, or is it just at the end of it?
The main effigy is on the Saturday night. And depending on the festival,
okay, is it 2 day or 3 day?
Actually, the main Burning Man is 9 days. That's now a whole ass week.
Oh yeah.
Most of the other ones tend to be 3 days. They usually tend to be Friday through Sunday.
Okay.
The one in Georgia tends to go if you're working there or you're trying to be early for a big camp, you can get there as early as Wednesday. But usually that's Thursday through Monday. Monday they got to kick you out if you decide to stay that long. Usually most people tend to leave.
All right, we're done.
We already killed time. What are you sticking around for? Get out.
But they'll
take your Eric Idle looking car and get the fuck out.
they'll get like this 40, 50-foot statue built.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay
and they're
here.
always, they've got a team that works on it. I've never seen one where I was like, I could do that. I've never seen one where at least, and not that it say that.
Man, you really phoned this effigy in, guys.
Man, you mean it's not like a con where everybody comes up to you and goes, my kid likes to paint. And then you're just like...
One year is just a Duraflame log they throw in there. It's like, sorry, we didn't have time to build an effigy.
At least for the ones in Georgia, like if you get there early enough, you can like actually like tag it, do all kinds of stuff. And usually they have like two...
Oh, cool. So
usually the ones in Georgia, they'll have two. They'll have a Friday night one that's smaller that they'll burn, and they'll have a Saturday night one that's huge to do.
Now, how hard is it to go to sleep when there's nonstop happenings? Because I am a light sleeper.
Well, also you got to consider too that this has been going on for like 35 years now. So yeah, some of the older burners are older folk too. So like they like to go to bed too. So like usually at a lot of these events, they'll tell you about like camping spots. They'll try to make it to where like there's certain areas you might want to go to that's further away.
My camping spot is the Ramada Inn down the road.
But also depending on the event.
I think if you're at Burning Man, dude, it's more like the U-Haul place up the road.
The biggest complaint that I know about Burning Man is a lot of folks say like it's just the generators that are running. Like you can still find the quote unquote quiet spot, but there's still generators from everybody.
Yeah.
Right. And so unless if you're like in an RV too,
I'm surprised they don't convert to like solar converters, because there's a whole bunch of like AC converters now that aren't super loud. And they work off of like, alternative methods of generating power.
Like Dristan
tablets.
And like, kosher salt.
I try to, it's hard for me to hate on somebody that got one of those. Like, I get it if you have a camper, that's the way to go. I mean, like, especially if you're an adult that's like responsible for stuff, like you really don't feel like camping if you don't have to. And I love camping, but I'll still take a camper if I got one. Like that's.
I'm all about glamping, man. If I could make it as easy as I can, that'd be great.
My other, however, is that there is a lot to be said though. If like at the event, like you're actually like roughing it, like you feel so like just immersed, like you're in the mud with everybody else. There's a beauty to it. If not to over romanticize it.
So it's like the Battle of Helm's Deep, kind of community. That's
it's like you're in the shit. Basically.
Absolutely,
yeah.
I'm surprised they don't have sections off where people who want to like do the more comforts of home camping versus the people that are just going back to nature. It's like we don't have generators. We have like, solar lights and stuff and whatever, battery.
Yeah, a lot of folks
It's the
have
quiet
those.
camp.
Yeah.
The quiet camp versus the loud camp, I guess, is what I'm getting
It's
at.
the horde of zombies from 28 Days Later who are all sleeping in a church on top of each other. And then on the other side of the field, you've got just the people in their fucking RVs with their generators going.
Right.
I love it how that was your analogy for this.
Now,
it was like that, or it was like the Matrix orgy dance scene. I couldn't quite figure.
you do got to remember though, like this, we're also still talking about like, the below the Dixie belt. So it's like some of these towns, they do have noise ordinances.
Yeah.
So not all these events can go the whole night long. Some of them that I've been to, they get capped off. The worst of them been capped off at like 10 o'clock, which was some bullshit. But usually you can expect to like hear, they're not allowed to play music after like 1 o'clock.
You don't want Cooter and Roscoe showing up and be like, you boys got to keep it down.
And like these are complaints from
You're in
like
the Bible Belt
folks
now,
who
baby.
live nowhere close to it. Like they'll be the loudest ones complaining about nothing. But hey,
yeah. Well, I imagine like from what you're saying, like even you say you romanticized it, but if I'm at a place I want to feel the vibe of that place. If it's sound, I want to hear, maybe it's a guy playing a stringed instrument or a flute or something. Maybe it's the music that's just like emanating from the camps rather than this like drone of like this generator trying to keep something running. So I definitely think that would damage a bit of the calm for me if that's what it was. But yeah, like having it there by yourself and camping and saying like, yeah, I did it without any frills. I get that.
And you bond with the people that
personal
no matter
kind
who
of
you camp
victory.
near, like whether you bring friends or not,
get
by proxy, you're going to bond with some of the people around you. At least one neighbor you're going to bond with just because. And, they might be your single serving neighbor, but hey, take it as it is. Like, they could be somebody that's pretty dope too. Like, it's like I met this one lady.
Dude, I did that at long lines at concerts before. I've bonded with the people next to us just by doing that. Like, we were waiting for the same thing.
Yeah, you do the same at cons, waiting for like autographs or whatever. You just start talking to everybody. And
exactly.
Shared experiences, mutual interest, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, you're finding your people on some level.
Man, that's special though. That's special when you can have something like that. And I think it's definitely intriguing. I kind of want to check it out now. I really do. I'm not just saying that because you're on the podcast.
Well, I mean, I love the theory of all of this. I think for me, I know myself enough to know that I am so glad that these things exist. I just not going to participate. I will go to tree rave in the forest with and drink the weird blue juice that I'm just randomly handed. But
it is what you make of it.
At the end of the night, I'm going back to my bed.
Yeah, maybe it'd be a one-day pass situation for me too. Like I stay there all day. I enjoy the rave. I leave at night and go to the Ramada and I sleep in my air-conditioned hotel room. That's what I want to do.
Right, and then I fly home. I get my little snackies on the plane where they give me my little Biscoff and my little coffee.
Now, hey, I will say there is something to be said about landing back into the regular reality of things and that first real cup of coffee, like, but it tastes a lot sweeter when you did the whole thing.
Oh, dude, I'd be bringing stuff to make coffee with me. I got a propane stove. Cool. That's happening. Coffee's a must, dude, for sure.
And here's a wild thing, because you know me, like, I'm good for forgetting like something that's needed to work this other thing. So, like, for sure, somebody like next to you's like, oh, we're going to just whittle this real quick, and like now your thing works. Like,
cool. I made a dongle.
I forgot my spoon.
I made a USB drive out of this rug.
Hey,
it's made out of birch.
It'll be the greatest spoon that you ever used.
No, that honestly, like from someone that doesn't really know much about the ins and outs, only hearing you talk about it, like, in story form, but hearing the community building part of it and the experiential part of it really makes me understand it a lot better. Now, so thank you for sharing all this.
Absolutely. Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's like cons or any of the things that I'm into, different musicians groups or artist groups, basically anything with a shared experience or shared desired experience. I'm going to bring up Ghost again, because when I went to that last concert, when we were there, it was like everybody there was a big fan of the band, and you're meeting absolute strangers, but people are like making little wrist like bracelets with the different band members' names or characters that they play, and in trading them for free. Everybody's like getting photos with other people in their costumes they're there for. We're all there to see this band, but it's all of the other stuff around it that really bonds us all together. And we're all nerds for this one thing, and we can be like macho, or we can be very soft and feminine, or anywhere in between, and everyone's here for it. And there's something very powerful.
I agree with that for sure.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
Well, you definitely piqued my curiosity. Like I said, I might be good for one day.
Man, if you do
as long as I could sleep in bed.
Now, for you, I mean, and I know you, man. I think you could show up on Friday, leave Sunday. Like,
he could do at least a hard 3 hours.
I could do an overnight. I could do probably one.
I think you could do two.
And then I'd be like, all right.
I think you could do two if you just pace yourself.
If I could get sleep, that is the lynch. If I'm hearing a fucking rave music and generators all night, I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind.
The ones in Atlanta, I'll give them this. They usually, where they say like wherever the quiet section is, they do mean it. Like, it's fairly quiet.
That's perfect.
Like, you might be the most noise you'll have is like what was that one creek or something that's over there. So
you'll hear me snoring. Oh, that's nature's white noise. I love it.
A babbling
Put me
brook.
near a creek. I'm set.
But I will say, at least for all the ones in Georgia, I've never had a problem getting to sleep. Like, not once.
All right.
Like, they've all.
Well, I know you sleep a lot easier than I do. I've watched you fall asleep when you're over my house watching television in the middle of the day, which I envy you. I can't do that. I'm not a napper. I wish I was.
Hey.
No, I wake up angry from a nap. Like I sleep and then I wake up and I'm like, what the fuck?
I feel like I've been dosed with something. I feel like someone snuck up behind me and put chloroform on me, and I woke up like, how do I feel worse than I fell asleep before?
That's 100%. I hate napping. Like, I've napped maybe 3 times in the last 15 years, and every time I wake up, I'm like, I hate the world.
Hey, get some great naps there too, though.
I don't know. I wish I could nap, man.
But you know what? And speaking of naps, dude, there was one person that had an installation also amongst a nice part of the woods with a bunch of bamboo, and it was like 15 hammocks. And you can go there and nap as long as you want. Nobody's going to kick you out. There wasn't like a pay
like
50 cent later nonsense. Beautiful. And again, this is like, but who thinks of this, right? And it might not be there next time. I can't promise that, but I can tell you it was there the last time I was here.
That's awesome. Well, hey, listen, this has been great and enlightening, and we are going to wrap up, and we want to have you on again for sure. This was very educational and awesome, and definitely piqued my curiosity about the burn stuff.
Yeah.
Hashim, you're our first guest, and that means that means a lot to us. Thank you for giving your time to this podcast.
I have the number one headband, so I need to see who's number two,
you do.
And then you can come and talk to me.
Yeah, you'll have to fight him for it. Well, this is the part where we sign off, and I want to thank our guest Hashim again. Follow him on social media, Toonpunk Sensei Ha. We're going to link to all of the stuff that he tells us to link to in the show notes, and on whatever you please do. Yeah, he's very talented, and yeah, this was great. And Caleb, do you have anything else to add, or would you want to sign off? What do you want to do?
Man, I'm still just reeling from all of the visuals of this. I think my prefrontal cortex is in a state of absolute chaos at the moment. So, no, I got nothing to add except my own morbid curiosity and absolute certainty that I would not survive one of those events.
I think you would. Well,
the most cringe thing I could think of at the moment is they do have a rather street patois of saying a hello and goodbye, which is happy burn. They also have another one that's just fuck your burn too, which that's always my other one is fuck your burn. But it's said with love. Yes.
That's awesome.
Well, thank you again for really teaching us about this. And well, we want to say again, thank you to all the listeners. I know we're slowly but surely getting more and more, and keep the suggestions rolling, because we want your input. We try to make this a conversation. And for those of us that said that it sounds like one, we thank you. For those of us that contacted us about
at least 3.
I'm doing it right now.
You have way more followers than we do.
Give them the whole 5.
And
they need it.
Yeah. And we want to have more guests on, because this is great. This is fun for us, me and Caleb. And A, we don't have to do research, and B, we're learning about something. So that's awesome. So thanks. Please follow us, write us, distractopod@gmail.com. Find us on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. We might have more outlets coming. I've submitted to Amazon Podcasts and Pandora, so we'll see how that shakes out.
Yeah.
Come see us if we're out in the wild. Visit Hashim at his various festivals if you're in the state of Georgia. Go to a burn. It's awesome.
Go to a burn.
Anyway, as always, I'm Brian.
And I'm Caleb.
And remember, Distracto can't solve your problems,
but it can distract you from them.
And it can bring a guest like Hashim. Hashim, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, you there! Do you feel bored? Restless? Searching for a brief moment of escape from the nightmare hellscape our daily lives have become? Well, have no fear! Distracto is here! Distracto is a podcast that distracts from the drudgery of the daily dumpster fire. Join hosts Caleb and Brian each week for a dose of pop culture, reviews, comedy, deep dives, interviews, or just listen to them get lost down internet rabbit holes. Subscribe to Distracto today, where all fine podcasts are found. Follow us on social media or contact us at distractopod@gmail.com.